YouTube, it's Trev. I want to talk to you about some LUNC stuff. Listen, don't mind all this stuff over here. I'm actually experimenting with using my iPhone as a camera plugged into my laptop, and I'm sure there's a way to edit that stuff out. I just got to crop it out, but I mean, I don't know if I really want to. This is like really high def. The camera's better than my 4K camera that I usually use. But anyway, yeah, there's some things that I want to talk to you about that I'm going to save for the end of this video, and I'm going to try to keep this whole thing short. I know I say that all the time. So if you could, for me, before we get started, if you could hit the like button, that would be great. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, and hit that little all notification bell so that you get notifications when I release videos or do live streams or interviews or whatever, right? Yeah, I'd really appreciate that. Now, I just recently went over 2,000 followers on Twitter, which was amazing to me. Honestly, I thought I would hit 2,000 followers on YouTube before I got there on Twitter, but in the last week or two, the Twitter followers kind of went crazy, and there are some reasons for that, and I appreciate the people who have helped out with that. So anyway, yeah, I want to get into some stuff, some things that I want to show you, some things I want to talk about at the end, but before I do that, I want to go to this, and this is Terra Station. You know, I also have Rebel Station. I mean, whichever one that you have right now, you can kind of bounce in between both. Just because this is what I have loaded up, I want to go here. But I want to look at some of these governance proposals. And I know that not everybody votes. Not everybody goes to Agora Station and reads on all this stuff. I think everybody should vote if you have the ability to do so. But just to keep everybody up to date on the different things that have kind of gone on with voting recently, what's being voted on right now, a few different things. And if you hit the show all button and you're in voting, make sure you're in Terra Classic. You can see some things that are happening. Now, the first one on the list is this funding of Toxic Station. It's not doing well. 80.5% not only said no, but no with veto. I mean, that's even harder, right? 10.78 no. Only 2.44% are actually, going ahead with this thing. And that's probably the people who are creating it anyway. There was something on Twitter, and I was tagged in it, that basically said, "Oh, why does the community hate Toxic Station or whatever?" Because, as best I can see, it's a joke, right? The community might be kind of divided a little bit as far as, different ideals or different ideas, in different factions that people kind of agree with, right? But any of the teams that are out there right now that are working to develop this thing, none of them are going to tell you that they can do it for free or that it can be done for free. This stuff costs money to do, right? Costs money to make money. Everybody knows that. So this thing is talking about, oh, we can do it for $1. All we want is $1, 5,000 LUNC, and everything else after that we'll do for free. It's farcical. It's satirical, okay? And the reason that it's getting slammed so bad, and the reason that everybody hates it, is because nobody knows who you are. You came from absolutely nowhere, and you're coming in and making a spectacle or a mockery of some of the teams who have been out there for a while, and who we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now if it weren't for, and saying, oh yeah, that, they're asking for, whatever they're asking for is ridiculous, we can do it for $1. I don't even want to spend any more time on it. That's how silly I think it is, right? Now, you've got a couple things. Anytime you see these airdrop ones, those are scams, okay? Don't click on any links in them, nothing like that. Nobody's putting airdrops up for a proposal for the community to vote on, right? Re-enable the IBC client. Anytime you see any of these re-enable the IBC client to Crescent or to anything else that it wants to initiate it for, that's always passing overwhelmingly. That's never a good idea so far that I've seen, right? Never not been a good idea. So those are always going to go crazy. This Terra Classic Community Decks, and I had Fafi on to talk about this, and there were a lot of good ideas here. But right now, a lot of people have abstained. 22.6 have abstained. 49, almost half of who has voted has said no. And I haven't gone to who's the validators? Yeah, all nodes. They have 18% voting power. They said no. Stake bin, smart stake. A lot of the validators are saying no on this one. Some of it said no with veto. And only 15%, almost 15.5% are actually saying yes on this one. I mean, there were some really good ideas in it, creating a DEX, and it kind of self-supports and all the rest of that. But this one might have been a little too complicated community-wise, right? I'm not talking about the validators, but just as far as community goes, might have been a little too complicated for them to really understand. I think what the community really looks for and wants is simplicity. Things that they can clearly understand, or maybe even things that are familiar, right? And when we're talking about doing something totally new, it makes people nervous. Not only that, you tie in the fact that a lot of community members aren't voting right now and have kind of lost interest in that with all the uncertainty out there, okay? So it doesn't look like this one is really going to make it. Although, it was great having Fafi on, and I appreciated the efforts, and I hope he continues to maybe fine-tune this and figure out what it is that the community or even the validators are interested in, what parts of it they didn't like, and, maybe it can be fine-tuned somehow and really meet everybody's expectations. But that's where we are on that one. And yeah, that was pretty much it for what's being voted on right now. Now, what has already passed? Well, this is a big one, okay? 11030, separation of Rebel Station from TFL backend infrastructure and assets. And this was from Terra Rebels. Rebel Station is hosted by a fully this was exactly what it says, just basically separating from TFL, and they were looking for some assets in which to do it. Now, the voices that were out there that were opposed to this were being as loud as they could possibly be. And, I'm not going to discredit anybody's points because there were good points that were made, and everyone is entitled to their opinion. But the community and the validators overwhelmingly on this one have passed this, okay? This is the law of the land now. This was a community spend proposal. This money, the money that they asked for, I believe has already been withdrawn from the pool. They already have it, okay? This is a done deal. So everyone out there who's still kind of squawking about it, oh, we should have done this, we should have done that. Well, we didn't do that. That's not what we did. We passed it. The community passed it. The validators passed it. And there's a lot of people saying, well, it passed because, who said yes, right? It passed because all nodes and Interstellar, they have such a large voting power. That's why it passed. Well, if you add up the 18% of all nodes and the 9% of Interstellar, that gives you 27%, right? Throw in TCB, you're at 33%, okay? If you had added that 33% to the no or to the no with veto, you still would have had enough in the yes column to pass this. So stop saying the only reason it passed was because of the validators. The validators agreed with it, and they said yes. Some of the validators said no, right? But a lot of them said yes, and the community overwhelmingly said yes on this one. So this is going down, and this is we'll just have to work it from here. Client unfreeze for osmosis passed. Signaling proposal to request osmosis support the burn tax. And again, it's just a text proposal. So now we got to see, how do you actually make that happen, right? And so we'll look for another proposal if that's actually going to come. The parameter change for the reward policy minimum 0.5. That one was also controversial, and that one didn't pass by a large margin. It was 48 to 42. So if that doesn't work out in short order, I'll expect to see a proposal to change it because we're having a hard time making up our minds right now. Again, re-enable IBCs to Osmosis, Juno, and Crescent passed overwhelmingly, right? 99.99%. I told you, those will always just slam right through. Signaling proposal for Terra Classic Recovery Acknowledgement Opportunity passed. This was a beautiful one, okay? This was about Ed Kim's Terra Grants Foundation and funding for it. Signaling proposal for the Terra Classic Recovery Acknowledgement Opportunity. This is the signaling proposal program in the amount of 750 million LUNC tokens. And what they're going to do with these tokens is they're going to use them to reward people in the community who have thus far helped with the restoration of LUNC and who have had an influence on driving everything forward, okay? My sincerest appreciation for those of you who have messaged me and said that, you know, I'm probably eligible to apply for this and that I should apply for this. I really appreciate that sentiment. I do. And I appreciate that you feel that I would deserve something like that. But, and listen, and I'll tell you this, I don't know if this is possible, but listen, if anybody wants to, you know, I'm not saying anybody can't go ahead and try to elect me if you want to. I would never say no to that. That's a huge honor. But the reality, as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't apply for this because do I think that I've done some good stuff? I really do. If I didn't think that I was doing good stuff, I wouldn't be doing anything at all. I think that I've brought some really key interviews for the community to be aware of kind of what's happening, you know, whether it's Terror Rebels guys or Lunatics guys or whatever. I don't try to guess on what's going on. If I at all can, I will bring you the people who are actually doing this stuff and get that information directly to you. And I think that that's a good thing. I think you see everybody in their grandfather right now doing interviews, right? That was something that I never ever saw before and why I started doing it, because I wanted to kind of separate myself. What could I do that nobody else was doing? Because I freely have admitted a million times, a lot of the other YouTubers and stuff, they really have a much better technical knowledge of this stuff than I do, right? So what could I do to actually make my channel worth anybody watching? Well, I wanted to bring these interviews and I want to interview all these key people, right? And since I've started doing that, now interviews is where everybody's going to, okay? A lot of people are doing interviews now. It was very clear to look at my channel and see that when I did a Zardar interview, an Ed interview, a Matthew Perry interview, these key interviews, right? Thousands of views, where normally I get, you know, maybe if I, 150 to 200 views on a video is normally what I get. So it was easy to see, well, the community, I guess, really wants to hear from these people. And so now everybody's doing interviews, right? Smart. Not only that, but the project leaders and the devs and everything, I think that they realized that the best way for them to get their information out to the community is also doing these interviews. It really helps them connect with the community and the community connect with them. Altogether, it was a beautiful thing. And I feel like I kind of started that, right? Somebody can disagree if they want to, that's fine, but I just didn't see it happening before me. So do I think that I've been doing some really good stuff? I really do, but I'm very aware of the actual amount of reach that I have. As I said, my normal video gets 100 to, if I get 200 views on a video, that's a really good video, right? And the ones that I've gotten into the thousands, those are phenomenal videos, but they're few and far between. There are people who put out a video on almost nothing and get thousands of views within a matter of hours, okay? They have a much broader reach than I have. And so just going on that, I would say that if there were people out there as far as content providers, opinion leaders, whatever you want to call it, that would deserve this kind of thing, I think there are people out there who are probably a lot more deserving of it than I am. That's my feeling about it, and I'm just being honest. So again, I thank you all for who kind of, suggested that to me. But I wouldn't presume to do something like that. I guess I'm not that arrogant. Pretty arrogant sometimes, but not that arrogant. Anyway, so let's back off of that one. Yeah, signaling proposal, yeah, signaling Terra classic recovery. And what has been rejected, right? Go to this real quick. So the new Terra Station dashboard is working. I don't even know what that was about. These airdrop ones should always get rejected and probably will. Renaming Luna Classic to Luna One. I'll tell you, I kind of like that name, but I know that we've got much bigger fish to fry right now. So, I guess nobody really wanted to care about that one. But where Luna is Luna V2, and we were originally Luna, so to go with Luna One, I like it, and it reminds me of a spaceship or something, right? Anyway, all right, that's cool. Airdrops, bunch of crap. Counter proposal. Let's fix the burn rate. I mean, 10.983 just passed, and because people were sore about it, immediately here comes something to try to change it around, right? This just really shows the division in how a lot of the community just can't accept that if the community votes for something, that's the way it is. Now, you might not have agreed, but the majority did. And that's what governance is about, right? Proposal to create a decentralized structure. This was the holacracy one. And I had Sam on to talk about that. And he actually went out and really pumped it a lot. And there were some really good ideas in this proposal. Ultimately, I think that a lot of the community thought the way that I did, in that we're not looking for something brand new or to start, something brand new like that, that nobody's done before. It's never been done in crypto before. And I don't think the community really wanted to be the guinea pig for that experiment. It was too out of the box. The community's looking for something familiar and comfortable. That's what I think that they're going to go along with. So a lot of these proposals that have actually come up, maybe aren't doing as well, and I think it's for that reason, right? So anyway, that's just a quick review of some of the things happening on Terra Station. Hold on, let me move something over here. So here's the part that I wanted to talk to you about, okay? You read the description, or you read the title of this video. You saw the thumbnail of this video. There's been a lot of talk in the community for a while, really. Not only the lump community, but kind of all crypto communities, stock communities, about clickbait titles and clickbait face, right? And how much everybody hates it. Well, the reason that it happens, the reason that people do it, is because, well, some people are actually making their living here on YouTube, right? But as much as everyone complains about it, you click on it. That's why it happens. That's why they do it, right? You click on them. You might look at it and see the clickbait face, right? And see, this lump to $1 tomorrow, and it's clickbait, but you're like, but I just gotta know what he's saying, right? And then you click on it, and it's all about clicks. It works. That's why people do it. You complain about it, you hate it, but you click on it, right? So, I talked about this the other day too, I think with Aesop's. It's kind of a human nature kind of thing. When there's an accident on the highway and traffic is backed up for miles, traffic isn't usually backed up because they've closed off a lane, because everybody, if they just, stayed at a regular pace and stayed in the other lanes, traffic would be moving. Traffic is stopped because everyone going by wants to rubberneck. Everybody's, let's see what's going on, right? Everyone wants to see what the accident was. We have this thing where we listen to the news at night. We have this thing where we want to know, or we want to hear about tragedy or, big salacious news, right? It's what sells. So complain about the guys who do it all you want, but they do it because you've made it clear that they click on it. So this, which you've never gotten from me, a clickbait title or a clickbait face or thumbnail, this was a social experiment. I want to know how many people are going to click on this video. Because as I already said, my typical videos get between 100 and 200 views. You know, and we all know everybody's view count is down right now. You know, bear market for one. Also, like I said, all the uncertainty right now in the Terra Classic community. There's just not as much involvement and as much viewership right now. And when things start getting better, all that comes back, okay? So I know that I get an average of 100 to 200 views in like maybe a 24-hour period. I'm very curious in the next 24 hours after this gets released, what the view count is going to be. And if it's anything above that, my point is proved, okay? And I'm taking a risk. It might not be that. I might get 50 views on this one. And if so, maybe I'm looking at it wrong. But again, it's an experiment, okay? So I apologize for the clickbait title. I apologize for the clickbait thumbnail. But at the same time, let's all take a peek and see what actually happens here. And then it's something that we can talk about, okay? How do we change it? How do we make it better? All right, if you could for me. I know I reminded you at the beginning. I'll remind you again because sometimes people forget. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Leave a comment in this comment section. You know, if you don't like what I just did on my little experiment, hit the thumbs down. Tell me about it in the comment section. Whatever you want to do, okay? Yeah, I'm really curious about it. So I will see you in the next one. All right, y'all. Ciao.